Okay, here's this black walnut stave. I got it kind of into shape. I got the thickness closer to where it's going to be. And I got it straight, and I got the width just about at the final width. I still have to tune that up a little bit, and I kind of got the handle in shape there. But what I did today is I went and took my scraper, and I went and scraped this down good. So I took off all the, took my the fine side of my 4-way rasp and took off any steps or bumps in there that would make it not adhere well. And then I took 80 grit sandpaper and went on it sideways. It just brings up little feathers for the rawhide to glue on. And I went and took and I cut 2 strips of rawhide, one for each limb, and I'm going to soak them overnight in this jar right here. Fill this up with water, soak them overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll glue it on and I'll wrap it with this, with these things to keep them on, with the ace bandages. What I'm going to do tonight yet is I'm going to put a first coat of glue on and let that dry, called sizing the back of the bow. Roll them up just like that. Stick them in there. Tuck them in there flat so they don't have any chance of popping up and out of there. I'll just put a cover on that and I'll come back to tomorrow morning and they'll be nice and soft and pliable. That on so I don't get any little visitors in the evening. Set that aside. Ready to size that bow. I'm going to size the back of this. Like I said before, it's just sizing the bow is just putting a coat of glue on the back before you glue on the rawhide or another backing. And the reason you do it is if you don't, the wood can suck up the glue between the wood and the backing itself and not leave any glue to adhere that. So what this does is it lets the wood suck up what it wants to, and then when you put that rawhide on, or whatever, in my case the rawhide, then the glue you put on it next will be the one that actually adheres it most. I always use Type on 3. Never had a single failure at all with using this, so that's what I would suggest. And I just use my finger and make sure I get every surface. What you don't want is you don't want puddles or bubbles. You just want one nice thin layer. I'll do this other side and I'll just let it sit till morning. Be plenty dry and ready for the rawhide. Okay, so it's the next morning after I went and soaked those strips, and here they are. They get a little nasty overnight, not too bad. You go a couple nights, they get real bad though, so I just suggest going one night. I got an old pair of jeans here. An old pair of jeans here that I like to use because I can just take these strips, which are nice and pliable now, as you can see. I just put them in between the jean legs here. You can just flip the jeans over on top and get the other side dry at the same time. And what you want to do is you're just basically trying to get any drip type water off of them. They're saturated into the middle of the skin, so you can't really dry them up too much. You know, and if you let them sit out, you can. But so I just want to get these dry. I'll just let them sit there for a bit, dry up. And while that's happening, I'll put some more glue on the outer limb of this bow in the handle area, and then I'll set one side on, wrap it with ace bandages, and I'll put the other side on. I'm going to start my glue where I want to overlap. I don't want to put too much glue where there isn't going to be any hide right away, because if the glue dries before I get the hide on, it's not gonna stick. So I want to kind of be kind of quick. I think I have a, they say on the bottle a 10-minute setup time or something like that. But that's usually gluing between surfaces. It dries up a little quicker when you thin it out like this on a piece of wood. So there's that. I'm going to grab one of these strips here. You want to make sure you don't get any dirt or anything on the back that's going to prevent it from laying down nice. What I like to do is I just like to lay it on the limb like so. Make sure I got glue under every bit. I'll just center it on there. Make sure that every bit of the bow gets covered. One thing I did do one time is see if you can see a black marker on here. Try not to use that. One time I rawhide back a bow and I got some marker on the limb. And that was bad. I could see it. So now what I'll do is I'll take these, take a nice bandage here, elastic bandage I should say, and I'll start wrapping it right up from the right up on this end of the handle. I'm going to leave this up because this is going to be overlapped by the other piece of rawhide. And what I'll just do is I'll just follow my hand down here and pull this down as I wrap it. Okay, now when I get down here to the tip, you can see I got a bunch of material hanging over the end. What I like to do is I just like to make sure that it's all down. I just kind of give it a little pull. I'll just go right down over the end. Leaving that material stick out like this. My bow ends here, but my elastic bandage comes to here. So I'll go over that a couple times. And I'll just work my way back up the bow with this bandage. And then after I get this all on, then I can apply glue to the other side and do the same thing. I'll flip this around in the vise. So it's holding onto this end and then the same thing to the other side. Now I'm going to put the glue on this side. I have this exposed rawhide here that I'm going to overlap. So I'm going to take and I'll put some glue on top of here as well. So when I can stick the other skin on, it's got glue between the layers of the rawhide. Okay, here it is after I got it all wrapped up. Back here. Now for the next few hours, what I'll do about every 15-20 minutes is I'll come through here and I can feel them popping out right now. That I'll push air bubbles out. And basically all that means is come back on this bow and just push any air out that's underneath that rawhide. I'm going to do it throughout the whole length. And then come back in another 20 minutes and do it again. And then come back another 20, do it again, do it again, do it again for at least, I like to do it for a couple hours. Every time I think about it, basically. And you're just ensuring that you're going to get an even bond through there. So now I'll work some air bubbles out and I'll just let it sit and just do what I said, come back to it a few times whenever I think about it. And hope that all this rawhide stayed on the back where I put it. And I wrapped it. So I'll do that and then I can unwrap it tomorrow morning. I like to leave it overnight just to be double sure it's stuck on. So time to wait.